Hello everybody, it's Holger Müller here from Constellation Research. Welcome you with my co-host
Liz Miller. New headphones, Holger. You like them?
Oh, very nice, very snazzy.
I know.
Is it silver blue?
They're blue.
Yeah.
They're blue. Yeah, just telling you. Anyone who's looking at the Apple AirPod Max, don't buy the green ones. They only have sound in one ear. Just saying. Anyway.
No product placements on the show. This is episode 32, the fastest show in enterprise software. We, as always, start with our news segment. Liz, you want to give it a go, or shall I start?
Oh, I think we should talk about the news for a little bit. I think that sounds good. Holger, what is happening in your world? You've been busy for the last couple of weeks. You've been seeing a lot of new stuff.
Look at my background from the Rosewood in Menlo Park, right? Storied location. Actually very loud. If you open the window right away, it's 280 going through your bedroom.
You got the freeway.
Interesting, but historic place, of course, on Central Road. Here for the Workday Innovation Summit, which happened yesterday and is fizzling out today. It's good to see how getting all the people together. People are more happy to see each other in person.
Yeah.
Then the event is kind of like secondary, so that was well done. Good organized event here. Workday is doing well, planning growth, trying to go to 10 billion in the next 4 years.
Whoa.
Well, they're at 5 something right now. So 20% growth supposedly gets them there. Didn't check their math right. I believe that CFO should have been right. And yeah, so some interesting thing on the architecture part, which always interests me, extending the power of one message is gone. It's all about the Workday Enterprise Management Suite. So EMS might become a new category part, right? So that is the new part from overall positioning, and it's all about agility, right? How you can be agile, which is kind of like interesting coming from Workday, which like 8 years ago said, no, you can't customize. This is SaaS. And now they have Workday Extend. They have their own PaaS platform. They want to roll the ecosystem. They did 6 major acquisitions, right? So 6 major acquisitions. The power of one is kind of like the power of none.
But is that where everyone's going? Like let's have this conversation just for a second, you and I, right? So everyone kind of goes out because Workday is not the only one. They see the gaps. It's like, can we build it or do we have to buy it? Okay, we're gonna buy it. Great. Then they're like, ooh, well now we have to make it all work together. We're a platform. Now we don't have to. You just need to make connectors between all of it. We're a platform. Like, is this where we're heading?
That's been happening all the time anyway, right? So, I mean, acquisitions have been happening when software vendors, suite vendors realize they don't have all the pieces in the arsenal, and frankly, their product developers may not be moving fast enough. They want to get the customers, right? So that's nothing new. We just have the situation where people are selling platforms, are really being platforms, and everybody wants to be a platform, even if they're not.
Oh yeah, everyone. Yeah. But everyone is also trying to be, I think, far more developer conscious, if not developer friendly, right? So like Domopalooza is a great example of that, right? Here we are, Domo, not historically known as being the most developer friendly, app friendly BI tool around. It was like, here's your use case for this, here's your use case for that. Great tool. But this year's Domopalooza was all about, you can create these applications, you can make them specific to not just your business, but to your team, your function. You can create these snippets, you can create these individual dashboards, and there isn't going to be a repercussion if you did it and it didn't work, right? You just take that off, right? It's not like you now have to retool your entire implementation. So you can start creating these little applications, and it's the applications that make all of the BI, all of the data that much more accessible for the entire organization. It's not just for the data scientists anymore. But it's this kind of it's this whole damn year of Holger thing that I keep running into, where it's all about those, how do we start looking at those applications as something that's decoupled from the entire, data pool so that you can actually move them faster, and it results in faster business process, faster onboarding, faster time to value. It's like, I can't get away from it. I can't get away from you. It's kind of pissing me off. But anyway, what else happened at Workday?
Yeah, so sorry for that. So better value, right? This is kind of like the end of prepackaged automation to a certain point, because the best practices are changing. Post-COVID is working differently before. The cloud has been changing since many years. And the packaged software vendors, the SaaS, the automation vendors can no longer claim this is how you do business. Because people don't know how they do business. And of course, as a SaaS vendor, I hate this because I want to send the same software to thousands of customers. That's how I make my money. That's how I scale. That's what customers want, right? They want the best practice. But if the best practices are not established, then you have a big problem. Right. And the only answer to that is, hey, I help you build your own stuff, right? And where this is going to end is going to be really, really interesting. We know already there's not enough developers, right? That's why we have low code, no code. So we have to enable the business users, right? So, like, okay, sorry, I couldn't make my sales number. I had to build this new CRM application. Everybody loves now. I get quota reprieve for being the guy who built that sales application. Now,
it does kind of feel like we're giving people really sharp scissors to run around with. It just like there's that part of me that's like, should we be doing this?
That's a really interesting thing where I have more and more conversations with like medium level business users who get involved in these departmental low code projects, and they're saying, oh man, now we have to think about these requirements if this really works much better. And if we make a mistake, I'm working on one, I'm working up to midnight to fix it. Before I would say, no, this is not going to work. No, this is not going to work. No, wait, the previous idea was better than this one, right? It just says like, the cycle with the consultants who would be happy to do ka-ching, 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 but yeah, that was slow, right? And the business don't have time for the slow, right? Enterprise acceleration, right? That's the real thing.
Yeah. See, I can't get away from it. Okay, so if there was one thing that you're walking away from the Workday event with, what's the one thing people should be looking out for from Workday over the next like half year?
It's a different new Workday, right? Opening up itself significantly more, becoming more of an ecosystem play, and really having to push to go the public cloud, which they're very public to comment on, saying that they have to get more into public cloud. Technology-wise, they're there. We might be seeing their new customers starting on the public cloud, and they have to move other customers to public cloud because that's where the infinite compute is, right? That's where you can store any data you want to have for your AI. You can run and automate your UI. AI, not UI, also your UI. Your UI is AI driven, so this is why I'm saying this.
All of it, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's what you're going to see. Yeah.
So speaking of cloud, though, you also had a pretty busy week. I kind of had like the week off from like big events, and news making events, but you really got in the thick of it because you also had Oracle, right?
That's right. Yeah, Oracle launched their revamped, brand new, shiny new employee experience management suite. Interestingly, out of the HCM area, right? All the HCM vendors think they can save the world of employee experience, which I'm saying you don't spend enough time in your HCM application. You can certainly screw it up with a bit benefit software where people are complaining and slowing things down. So everybody this is a nice thing, right? Every software vendor has a chance to screw up the employee experience for bad UX, right? So it's like, okay, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. And now this software here, that's it. I'm going somewhere who's using something else, right? So from the hope of that. But the interesting thing on the Oracle portal is they're basically repackaging. They're fully committed. I think they're repackaging CX stuff, right? So they've been doing journeys for employees before since a long time. It's always unclear if journeys are more like the customer journey, like fluffy duffy, birds chirping and flowers and so on. Or
I'm sorry. Are you trying to reduce CX stuff? Did you say fluffy duffy? Because we'll have words about that afterwards. But anyway.
Yeah, well, the customer experience certainly is more fluffed up than the employee experience.
Maybe. But listen,
just
I think
tiny bit.
Okay, just a little bit. Blame it on me. Anyway, see now this is how you can't.
I'm not blaming you.
I mean, fluffy stuff. It's awesome.
I'm not blaming you.
It's my revenge. I'm
not blaming you at all. But when people would throw a workflow for customers in the laundry, the softener would always go in.
The softener goes in,
It has to be in, right? It's customers, right? If it's for employees, forget about the software, right?
Well, listen, the reality is, I mean, there was an interesting ADP study that came out about why people were quitting, right? Like, you have November 2021 being the single largest voluntary job split, month ever, where you have so many people that left their jobs and people couldn't figure out why. And people are like, oh, it's because it's holiday. I'm like, November is when all the jobs start, kids, right? Like that's when everyone starts to work. So November 2021, the big job resignation anomaly. And so they started asking people why they were leaving. And the traditional answer is money, right? But the new answer that's cropping up and was actually the fastest mover was, I'm really unhappy in my workplace, right? I don't have the tools that help me be successful. I'm getting set up to fail. So all of a sudden, when you start talking about that employee journey, it's how hard did you make it for someone to actually start working here? And then how hard did you actually make it for someone to keep working here, right? Like we actually make it really hard for people to work and for people to be an employee. Good luck trying to figure out how many dependents you claimed on your taxes here in the States. you got to make 10 phone calls for that, right? So I think that there's an interesting new conversation that's happening around when we start to talk about customer experience and we start to talk about employee experience. Because I think, to your point, we're trying to defluff both sides, right? Like, we're trying to really get down to it, because a lot of times in CX, what we hear is, I don't know how to use that tool. I can't use that tool. None of those tools connect. In other words, I'm not being set up to be successful because the tools are so damn hard. And it's like everyone on the employee experience side of that was like, what a revelation. We make it hard for you to work. So I think there are new conversations happening. I mean, we're going to try to have that type of conversation at the Ambient Experience Summit coming up there at the end of May and early June. So
second product placement, but okay.
I know. So it's fine. Listen, I'm a marketer. I can't stop it. I can't help
get the marketer out of her.
You can't.
So here's the reason why Oracle Me, I think, is still different than the other attempts of. I mean, last week I was at Workforce Software's user conference, nicely in Carlsbad, close enough, right? And they think like workforce management will make a difference on the employee experience, but you don't spend enough time clocking in, clocking out to really make a decision. Right. You can screw it up again. Okay, everybody has that. We said that already. The difference for Oracle really is, first of all, they're leveraging the suite. Right, so they can do things faster because they're piggybacking on the CX capabilities, right?
Yep.
They launched a new module, Touchpoints. I don't know if it's totally new or it's using some of the CX service sentiment capabilities, which would be a good thing, right? Leveraging the suite is a good thing. So it's easier for them to build something. But secondly, the most important thing is you can become the front end with employee experience journeys and so on for every process in the ERP system. So everything that's in Fusion.
Oh, nice.
And that's where people spend significantly more pound than just the HR software, right? So the percentage on your workday, pun intended, right, that you spend in your ERP application is significantly bigger than just in one silo application, in just one of the generic finance, how do you approve a purchase order or purchasing or HR applications. So once you get the line of business applications in there, on the CRM side where people work, on the manufacturing side, on whatever it is that you're doing in the enterprise for the value creation, then you get substantial automation. And it's open for third parties. So it's a front end. It supports being Oracle, a tech stack. It supports low code, no code. We're back at this again. So I think it has a significantly better chance. And it's the first employee experience offering that's holistically offered for an ERP suite vendor. So
nice.
Let's do Oracle. Let's see where it goes.
So it's been a busy couple of weeks for you. We're going to have a busy couple of weeks coming ahead. We've got analyst sessions with folks like Salesforce. We've got analyst sessions with folks like Oracle. Actually, speaking of Oracle CX, we're going to have some time with them coming up. So we will talk to you guys about that next time. But stay tuned. Listen, we got a packed show for you. We're going to have a great Salon 50 interview with the CEO of Five9, Rowan Trollope. You're going to find out what one of his secret hobbies was. And let me tell you, it's pretty awesome. Get your music player ready and a couple other things. So stick around, enjoy. We'll see you next time.
Hello everybody, it's Holger Müller here from Constellation Research for another episode of the fastest show and the most personal show in enterprise software with my co-host Liz Miller. Hey Liz.
Hey Holger, what's happening? We've got an awesome guest, victim, whatever we're calling him today.
That's right, guest, victim, whatever we call him. It's Rowan Trollope from Five9, the CEO over there, the big honcho, the big wig. Besides, he has a better hair than both of us.
He does. Better
definitely better hair. And the better glasses too, right? So we are outglassed, out-haired, out everything here.
I think you take the cake on the sweater though there, Holger, so...
Yeah, it's a jersey actually, but our production cost doesn't allow me to show that all of it. So it's my soccer team's passion here, AC Milan. They're doing really well this year, so they're number one right now. And only 8 games to go, so I'm very excited, as you can notice. Right?
Not that he doesn't love him or anything, but it's fine. Listen, we're here to find out more about Rowan.
That's right. And our guest goes first, Rowan. Pick the category, pick your question to ask, pick who you want to ask it to.
Hobbies. Let's start with Liz and hobbies, and then I pick the first question, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What hobby is on your bucket list to learn?
Oh, this is a complicated one for me, Rowan. You're kind of hitting to the heart of my inadequacies. I'm not gonna lie. In my mind, I want to knit.
Knit. Oh.
Yeah, because I see those people and they're like, oh, I made my sweater. Oh, look at my cute hat I made. Or, oh, look at this scarf. So I set out to learn how to knit one day. And I got everything started, but I I can't stop. So I basically either have like the world's longest pot holder or like a scarf for a giant. So I'm kind of there, but kind of not. So yeah, I would love to learn how to knit, but it's I'm not thinking it's going to happen.
Okay, well, it's on the bucket list. You got a lot of time left.
I got some more time. Okay, here's mine for you. What skill or hobby could you do as a kid, but you totally forgot how to do as an adult?
Breakdancing.
Stop! Oh my God, we're gonna have to bring that back. That'd be so good.
That was the 80s. It was the 80s.
I love that.
Yeah, and I grew up in Toronto, and we had a breakdancing like team or something, and it just seemed like the coolest thing in the world at that time. We all wore like Adidas tracksuits and would like the laces would go up the legs, and I don't think we were very good, but it was definitely fun. It's not something that I would do anymore though.
Oh,
the good news is, Rowan, muscle mememory doesn't die. You might not do the same moves as smooth, as fast, and you need more warm-up definitely, and definitely more
there's no break.
So this is now out there in the world. We're going to see you try the breakdancing at the next user conference, sales kickoff, or whatever is coming there. Very good.
Okay, Rowan,
I'll go for wisdom. I'll go for wisdom, Rowan, and I'm going to ask you, what was your biggest aha moment in your life where you say, hey, I realized something works?
Oh my gosh. What jumps to mind is one time as a very cocky and dumb 20-something-year-old, I went like mountaineering and did something that I shouldn't have been doing, and like basically, long story short, I nearly died because I wasn't really paying attention to the details of how everything was supposed to go. Luckily, I didn't die. Obviously, I'm here. And the aha moment was like, details really matter. You could take risks. Like, I was definitely a huge risk taker before then, and I just felt invincible. And when that moment happened, it was like a light bulb went off, and I was like, you can't take those risks anymore. You could die. And so I became much more thoughtful and careful with that kind of stuff. Still taking risks, but more like, okay, not just feeling like I was invincible.
Very good, yeah. And immortal, right? We all think to some point we're immortal, right?
Especially at that age. Yeah. Nowadays, I'm afraid of falling down the stairs, so there you go.
Awesome.
Right, pick a wisdom question, Rowan.
Okay, what advice would you give to yourself?
At my current age?
Yeah.
Or at what age? Right? The advice I would give to myself is... How
about to the younger version of yourself?
To the younger version of myself. Well, if I would have been 5th grade, I would have said, don't have a German English speaker. So 50 years later, when you're in the US, you don't have just a thin German accent. No, just kidding. Okay. Like nothing I can do on the accent. Accent reduction training, I'm immune to this, right? Even the Hollywood people who train the fancy actors to have a sexy Australian accent also failed with me to get the German out of me. But yeah, no, the advice I would give to me is like, have more breaks, don't work that hard. That's something I recently learned.
There you go. Well, you have the sexy German accent, so that's good.
Please make it more sexy, Rowan. I'm not sure if that can happen due to some historic facts, but they don't teach history so well anymore, so there is a shot. So please promote the sexy German accent, Rowan.
There you go.
Okay, let's see here. Rowan, I'm going to ask you a work question. Okay. What word do you never want to hear in the live or virtual workplace ever again?
Oh.
I have one.
The one that jumps to mind is hybrid.
Oh,
good one. Good one.
Hybrid or bimodal.
Oh,
good one too.
Yeah, like both of those drive me crazy because they mean nothing. I don't like. Well, certainly hybrid. I think it just is overused. Hybrid work, hybrid cloud, hybrid this, blah blah. Yeah, no thanks.
Hybrid is the most over-defined, misdefined, undefined.
All at once. So bad.
How can over-definition lead to undefinition and confusion, right? So.
Yeah, exactly.
Awful.
It means everything, so it means nothing.
Okay, your turn, Rowan. Ask Liz a question about work.
Okay. Let's see. When and where are you the most productive?
That's... See, okay, in the before times, like in January 2020, I would have said, well, in my newly found working from home, since we're now a remote, since I joined Constellation, it was a remote company and I had worked in an office all that time and then working remote. I was like, I'm super productive. This is awesome. And then here on December 493rd of the year 2020, I would probably say I am most productive. Honestly, in the last couple of weeks, I was most productive in a hotel room. Thanks
really?
to Orlando. Because I just, it's one of those, it's when time compresses and you have to get everything done in a certain amount of time. I just get hyper productive and super focused. But if I know that I'm home and I can kind of parse my day out across the full 24 hours of oh, here's time for sleep, here's time for family, I spread it out a little bit more and I find things slip. But if I know time is compressed, I am I shall do all the things, right? And so that's kind of, I will say in a really nice hotel room, thank you, Rowan, for that great event, in Orlando, I was most recently the most productive.
So you need to be up against a deadline and completely isolated.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's what 2020 taught me. Oh gosh, that's bad.
So next, Liz is behind on her writing quota. I'm saying back to Orlando, Liz.
Yep, back to Orlando. Please don't ever use those words. That's not fair. Yeah. Okay. Holger.
We broke the rules here, right? Because you jumped in first and it was Rowan's turn. So Rowan, you go 2 times. Is career or personal you want to ask me here?
Oh, that I get to ask you. Okay. What work habit do you do that you wish you could break?
Checking email after 11 p.m. easily.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then starting to work when you see something.
I like that 11 p.m. is your bridge too far.
So
after dinner.
You can extend it to 11:15 or whatever, right? So checking email when it doesn't really matter anymore. And it's kind of funny, in the current work, it doesn't really matter. But when I was working at companies on a worldwide basis, you had serious work to do because you looked at your email 11 o'clock and people were working in India and other places, right? So it was important if you wanted to get that acceleration that are now preached to companies and their software development and so on. You had to check your email 11 o'clock, right?
I find in my job, it's important if I want my people really to have downtime, I have to stop sending emails because they will respond.
Yep.
I used to use the setting, my last company was when your boss or a VIP list sends you an email, it will pop up on your phone so that I would respond right away.
Right.
And, I try to be thoughtful with my people, hey, if it's a weekend and if I really want them to be, frankly, I pretty much don't do this right now, but when things are slow or if I'm really trying to make sure that someone is getting a little more downtime, I'll try to be thoughtful about when I send emails. They don't have a feature in Outlook yet, which is send on.
They do. It's been around since a long time, since 20 plus years.
Really? Maybe
in the send options, you can say send at a certain time. And Microsoft has woken up with Viva Lifestyle and so on, where you can have a setting that you hold your emails outside of working hours till working hours start, which of course, it's version 1, right? So 1 time zone, multiple time zones. So that could also go horribly bad, right? But you can hold, there's a way and send options.
That. You'll have to give me some
long time
on Outlook after the call here.
And then people say, I got 10 emails from you at 7 o'clock on Monday. How did you do that? I typed really fast.
Typed really fast. I love it.
Road, I forgot which category, which bucket did you take?
I was on career. I just asked.
Career. Okay.
Now do I ask the career one or what's happening?
Yeah, that's fine. So I'll ask you back. What was the first technology used in your career, and how did that go? Oh,
you're on mute.
The mute button. The mute button. Just kidding. The first technology I used in my career, beyond a telephone, I would say, when it was early computer, the 8088s and 286, I think it was. I used McAfee antivirus. My first job that I was paid for was going around to these different offices, and there had been a traveling salesman of some sort who had a 5.25-inch floppy disk that we found had been infected with one of the world's first viruses. We got McAfee, and I was given McAfee. I was 16. It was a summer job, and I went to all these different places, and I had to run McAfee antivirus to find and clean up the virus. I didn't find it, actually. He had not inserted.
So frustrating. So frustrating.
No, it was great because then I was in these I was like traveling around to these cities, and they had given me 2 or 3 days in each city, and I had 10 seconds of scanning the computer and then 2 or 3 days to kill because I had paper tickets, right? What else was I going to do? Yeah. So it was lovely. And a per diem, no doubt.
So. Not bad. Also, first lesson in really bad sales guy.
No, he was a great sales guy. He didn't actually infect anything. So I don't know what he was doing.
He also didn't insert the disc anywhere, so he didn't sell anything, I would assume, too.
That was yeah, and then I went on to work at Peter Norton Computing, and I worked on Norton Antivirus. So then I went, he was a user of Neo McAfee Antivirus, essentially working in IT.
Yeah.
Norton then actually became a developer and was an engineer and engineering lead on antivirus. So there you go.
That's awesome. I love it.
Excellent. All right, Rowan, you got to go again because Liz barged in, broke the protocol. We're out of practice doing this. We haven't done that in a while, so.
And I'm doing career.
I think we're down to personal. I think personal is the only column we didn't do. So
who is your personal hero?
My personal hero for me is 100%. Well, it's 50-50. It's my mom or my dad. They're kind of both up there. But, mom is inches higher than dad because mom, lived through the Korean War, she and her whole family moved from what is now North Korea to South Korea. She decided, I'm not staying here. I'm going to go and be a nurse in North America. She actually first went to Toronto, spent some time in Windsor, which, not many people are known to do. Detroit, Philadelphia, went to Vancouver, came down to Seattle, and then landed in Los Angeles, and that's where she ended up staying. So wow. She and then she became a PhD in gerontology. Like she just kind of made this incredible, well-informed, self-directed life for herself. And so I always kind of take those cues to try to be a little bit fearless and not think I can't do something. Because she literally just moved and decided what she was going to do. So if she can do it, I figure I can do it.
Amazing. That's a great one. I love that.
So let me ask you this one. We'll close out here. Where and when are you the happiest?
Where would be in the mountains is where I'm the most happiest. And when is when I'm doing stuff outside with my kids. Camping, skiing, boating, any kind of stuff like that. So outdoorsy stuff in the mountains with my kids, 100%, no question.
Love it. That's awesome. That's awesome. Rowan, listen, we had a blast. Thank you so much for being our victim. You've survived the salon, Rowan.
Liz, Holger, thank you so much. This was really great, and I'm glad that we got to do this today. It was really fun for me.
Oh,
well
good.
Thanks for coming on.
All right.
Till next time, everyone. Hey, everyone. It is Liz Miller, Vice President and Principal Analyst here at Constellation Research. And I wanted to just take a minute to talk to you about something today. Something called Omnichannel. I know we've been talking about it forever, but today is actually the exact right moment in time to think about a new way of seeing the omnichannel world. In fact, I'm talking about taking a moment to admit that we've been chasing this thing for decades, and now it's shifted, it's changed. Our customers have continued to evolve it for us. But what we've been chasing has kind of been the old definition of omnichannel. And it's time to really admit that omnichannel might not be what, certainly not even where, we've always thought it was. So let's start to talk about what omnichannel isn't. It's a lot easier than talking about what it is. Omnichannel is not a destination. It's not a checklist of places or areas we need to copy and paste messaging and have it look exactly the same. It's not that list of email and social and mobile, and that's not it. It's also not a workflow. It's not a workflow that connects all of those points of communication and engagement together. It's also not a solitary activity. In fact, it's a bi-directional, living, breathing relationship that we're creating with our customers. It's that opportunity to co-create something with them. It's a conversation. It's also not something that's just for B2B or just for B2C. In fact, all of those lines are shifting. In fact, they're disappearing. So if Omnichannel is a conduit between our customers and our business. We can't forget our people. So omnichannel is not a strategy where we should just be thinking about our buyers, our customers. It's also a strategy where we have to think about our people, our sellers, our service delivery experts. We have to think about both sides of the relationship. So what could omnichannel be? What should it be? So omnichannel should be a new business model that immediately satisfies the needs of the every channel consumer. It actually delivers exactly what they need when they need it. Omnichannel should also be dynamic. And I don't just mean like videos or really great looking creative or moments that delight. That is not what I'm talking about. Omnichannel gives us high fidelity signal from our customer. Our customer is telling us exactly what they want. We also have the data about our business, so we know exactly what our business needs as well. Omnichannel is about melding those two needs together and delivering dynamic engagements, configurations, and even pricing that make sure that the engagement and the experience that we're delivering through that channel is the best for both our business and our buyer. Omnichannel should also be driven by technologies that are leveling the operational playing field. The reality is not a single customer thinks about what channel they like to engage with us the best. Oh, I really like the service channel because I just don't like sales. No one thinks like that. However, that's how our operational silos are built. We've relegated certain channels of engagement to certain functions, and that means that our customer has to navigate that when they really don't want to. We need to start operating the way that our customers already think we should. So what have we learned across this whole omnichannel journey? Well, the first thing is that it's not about really being omnichannel, being everywhere. It's about being omnipresent. Are we there in the moment and in the location that our customer needs and wants us to be? Are we tackling those operational boundaries with technologies that empower both our buyer and our seller? Are we holding back commerce because we can't? Is the operational boundary what gets in everyone's way? Think about leveraging the right digital tools for the perfect commerce moment. Think about things like CPQ. Think about tools and technologies like AI-based channel prioritization, smart tools that not only prioritize the channel through which we are going to deliver an experience, but empowers our sellers to be exactly where the customer wants them to be. Think about CPQ as being the ultimate conduit for the highest fidelity signal that a customer could possibly give us. They're literally telling us exactly what they want to buy. And now we have smart tools that can align pricing and configurations to really meet their present state and their future business needs. This is about omnichannel commerce. You can effectively remove those operational boundaries to finally be able to meet the customer. And that's where revenue potential lies. It's also about not forgetting the seller. Omnichannel commerce strategy is really about making sure that modern omnichannel is on top of an interconnected platform that shifts and aligns our operations and our processes with the actual act of selling. It removes the barriers between sales, commerce, and the customer. It empowers our sellers to be smart, productive, and successful. This is what omnichannel is really about. And in this age of the channelless consumer and the channel-free seller, together, they're creating new experiences. But most importantly, for our business and for our growth, they're creating new revenue potential. They're creating new opportunity. And the question is the problem us? Is our old definition of omnichannel, of command and control, managing messages through all of these different engagement channels, is that manage and control process standing in the way of co-created revenue opportunities? Okay, Holger, that does it.
Thanks for having us.
Episode 32 in the books. Listen, next time you guys are going to hear from Doug and Dion. They are going to be far more serious than we are. So You're going to enjoy that. Always. But until next time, we'll see you in episode 34. You can follow us in the meantime on Twitter at CRTV_show. I'm pretty sure that's it. You can follow me at Liz K. Miller. And of course, you can follow Holger and his epic ride from the Eastern Seaboard that I'm sure he's going to be tweeting about. It's virtual. Don't worry. He's not out there actually going to get hit by cars. But follow him at Holger MU. Until next time, we'll see you.
I will say the picture behind you could be kind of funny in the video.
Do you mean this one?
Yeah.
It's glued on. Yeah, well, that's kind of weird, right? So I try to turn around to the...
There's a butt behind you. There is a butt behind your head. There's a butt behind you.
It's California. What? It's the Rosewood Hotel.
There's a butt behind you.
What is the problem with the butts? My lighting is worse now.
Liz, I think you just dropped off. There you go.
Yeah. I was like, oh, bye.
You said naked too often and you got censored.
Basically. I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so what are we doing? Talking about not appropriate...
How can I know? No one's going to fine us for not doing 4 segments, so...
No.
10 people will know about it, and 8 of them work at Constellation, so it's all good.
I'm not even sure if 8 people at Constellation will notice.
Oh, we have someone who is old enough now. We have someone who is grown and so old enough now that she gets herself out of bed like such a big girl.
Wow.
There's Mr. Holger and there's Miss Hannah. Okay, go wake up your dad with a really loud clock-a-doodle-doo and super loud. I can hear it through my noise-canceling headphones right now. It's happening. Sorry, honey. Okay, hey, what happened? What happened last week? What are we talking about, Holger, you and me?
What episode is it?
Oh, shit, I don't know. Oh, poor Hannah. She was like, you were just supposed to film like a 30-second out. What the fuck is happening? Okay.